Yo, what's up guys? As you probably have been playing some Special League, or not at all, you notice that there is pre-ban in Special League. So it's not just the 5 units that you see on the field, you also have a pre-ban in front of it. We do know that these websites such as SW Arena and MSW Ranking normally track data for RTA, but they don't really track data that properly for Special League. And because of that, I actually made one that, well, pretty much this is a predecessor to both of those websites. This is something that I made and never really made public. It was just for me or just showing on stream, or I did like the old tier list based on this. But I still have that website running locally where I can track data and then also see the pre-ban. So we're going to look at that for a little bit. But the main question is actually something that I'm also be putting in a poll, and that is the poll that you see over here. Should we always be having pre-ban for RTA, which is also the title of this video? Before that you vote this, because the link for voting this is in the description down below, I do want to explain a few things of what does it mean if we were to say like, okay, we should have a pre-ban as in Special League right now, or we should have a pre-ban but before you queue. Well, first of all, I'm going to explain that second option right here, which means normally if we go into a RTA match, you first have that screen of pre-banning. You have to select through the units. You have 60 seconds to pre-ban. The moment that the pre-ban happened, there's another like 10 seconds for showing what units are pre-banned, or 5 seconds or whatever it is. And then you actually go into the match. That whole process takes you about, well, let's say 15 to 70 seconds per match extra, which does add in a lot of extra time for your matches or getting through all of your matches. How could that be made faster and maybe also made more fair? Which in this case, it is possible for people to stream snipe, or it's possible for people to check in your previous matches, either through like the history of the game on the second device, or go to one of those sites where they're tracking which units you're playing, and therefore they're pre-banning exactly the main thing that you're playing. What you also could do is something that we have in Chronicles, and in Chronicles you can select pre-bans before you go into the queue. So let's say we do really hate units such as Pandas. Tianlang and Miyang, those are very difficult to play against. I just put them in the pre-ban. They do have their, I think it's like a week on pre-ban and a week off pre-ban. It's kind of weird in that sense. But if we were to have this in Sky Arena, I would recommend to always be there. Otherwise, it kind of messes up the season. But this makes it a lot faster to where you can instantly pre-ban, let's say, your Hey Gang, which we see pre-banned a lot, or your Giano, or your Ragdoll, or your Leo. And then you always have that one pre-banned, rather than maybe being sniped by someone checking like your history or whatever of pre-banning exactly that one there is. So that could be a thing. However, it has a few downsides as well. And what would those downsides be? Well, some comps and some units might be incredibly strong if you do always pre-ban. And that's where this data comes in. So first of all, I want to be showcasing, I have about 5,200 matches, and all of the players that have more matches than 1% of the total of 5,000 or whatever number it is will be excluded. So I don't include myself to boost up like a Giano or Nyx raid or whatever I was playing, or when I have some people in favor, they are excluded for that as well. So first of all, pre-ban. What are the highest pre-bans out there? We have a Hey Gang with a 20.71% ban rate, which does also mean the following. Gianna is incredibly high on win rate herself. Gianna win rate, absolutely absurd. 55.6, which is incredibly strong. It's also therefore the highest pre-ban for people that normally do like to play Hey Gang, because if you lose your Hey Gang, it's like you're going to be playing against Gianna, and it's just a lot more difficult. So yeah, we have Gianna banned at 14.6, we have Sibala banned at 9.6 pretty much, Ragdoll at 6.7, Cigar at 6, also interesting. We have Leo being pre-banned, mainly the Cleavers playing that way. Bunch of people also banning Sierra or Sonia, a few Tianlang bans, and then Julian ban, and then everything just goes down to just a few percent. But pretty much everything is pre-banned at least once. I do have about this many units that were never pre-banned out of all of the units that I see here in this list, which it does exclude if units are too low on pick rate. I think if it's below like 1% pick rate, it's not included as well. So yeah, that's definitely where we can see that Gianna is incredibly strong if the pre-ban is there. So sure, we might say like, okay, therefore we can at least always play without Hey Gang on the field, or we can always play without a Leo on the field, or we can always play without that one unit that you really hate playing against. Personally, after with Ragdoll, rather than not play against it. I have been mostly banning Hey Gang, but then again, Hey Gang ban is mainly when you're just spamming Gianna. And let's say that I'm a slightly known Gianna player, so everyone is just simply pre-banning Gianna into me. So it doesn't really work that well for me. So yeah, that is a slight interesting fact in that one as well. Gianna win rate, if she's 5th picked, is incredibly high. She's not often 5th picked though, but if she's 5th picked, incredibly high win rate. So yeah, let's actually look at pick rates. What are the pick rates? Do have to keep in mind a few things that I messed up because I actually developed this stuff like 2-3 years ago, and yeah, there are a few flaws in it. For example, that the cigar and the M Bison are on different values because I didn't combine them. And the weird thing is, which you can also see, that these numbers are a little bit low numbers, and therefore the cigar is on a kind of a low win rate, whereas the M Bison is actually on like a super high win rate. But apparently everyone that pulled a cigar sucks and everyone that had an M Bison is OP. I don't know. we can name it what we want. So yeah, we can see the pick rates. Pick rates are pretty much similar to what we normally do see. We do see Ragdoll being number 4, which is pretty high. Gianna is a lot lower, but you can pretty much say that the ban rate of the Gianna would almost be added in here. Not everyone that has a Gianna banned against them also does have a Gianna, but it is kind of one of those things that you could keep in mind. But yeah, pick rates are pretty much similar as normal. Interesting ones that stand out, of course, are the ones with higher win rate. 51 for a Vanessa, 55.6 for Gianna. That's absolutely absurdly high. Would that be a pre-ban issue or would that be a Gianna issue in general? That's something that you could decide. I think Gianna might get a slight nerf, but we're not going to see a nerf until end of November, where we might see bigger changes, hopefully, maybe, I don't know. Etna's doing pretty well. Heigang is doing not too bad. Further down, Vert is not doing too bad. Laura, of course. Tianleng is doing decent. Mei Wang, 51. Not bad for Mei Wang. Mostly Mei Wang is a little bit lower. Sekhmet is actually on a 51 win rate, which is definitely not too bad as well. Kovaci, 56. Well, let's actually look at that from an angle of the win rates itself. This is also where you can see, like, this is what I was talking about. Cigar is at 48 and the M Bison Wind is at 56. Let me double check. Yeah, this is the M Bison Wind. So, yeah, that's just kind of weird. I can't really explain that, to be honest. That's the main thing. But we can see for things that are like a decent on pick rate, 9% over here with like close to 500 matches. Kovaci is doing very well. Gian, of course, doing very well. Seimei, well, not that many picks, but still doing pretty good over there. Laura, of course, doing really good. Let's look at the units that have the lowest win rates. Well, you can't really see that. Wait, I'm going to put this up because people are hyping this unit too much. The lowest win rate is a Fire Megami. Wait, can you even see that? No, I still have to change a little bit. Nope, not that one. Right over there. Wind Megami, or Fire Megami. 36% win rate. So whoever makes a video on it, claiming this unit is OP, it's going to be the next best thing. 36% win rate in the matches that we can see in best in here in game. That is not very high. No, that's not really great. And I would say the pick rate of 6% is enough pick rate to a decent amount where I would say, like, for example, we have a 2.5% pick rate here on Asher and he's apparently not working here, whereas he was pretty good in normal RTA. That could be where you say like 2.5% is maybe a little bit low on pick rate, but close to 6% is a decent amount where I would say like, okay, that's not really working out. Same for Douglas, Federica, Tessarion. Well, Tessarion we're mostly used on this win rate. Interesting one is Wunsa, but it does actually also make sense because Wunsa, the moment that you play a Wunsa player and you play a known Wunsa player, let's say you play a Glorious or someone like that, you're going to be pre-banning the Zibala and his whole comp is to shatters. So yeah, that's one of those things where I do think that if you know that you're playing into a Wunsa, it's really easy to pre-ban because of it. So those are things that you have to keep in mind, like, okay, do we therefore also really want that pre-ban or not? Or, yeah, should that be the pre-ban that always goes in front of things? Because in the end, if you are a Gianna spammer, you're always going to be pre-banning that Heigang. And if you are a spammer on some kind of comp with a Sonya and then a Water Series, but I think the Water Series is not even... No, for some reason, the Water Series is not even on the list here. It's below 1% pick rate. Slightly surprised about that. Well, to be honest, we can see that there's not too many people actually going for like this cleave comp all the time, because those are all of the people that always ban Leo. And I think they're more Sonya focused than anything. And Sonya is on a decent win rate, but it's not crazy. But the thing is, which actually is mainly based for that to be good, which is also the highest pick rate with a high win rate, which is a Vanessa. They still mostly go for a Vanessa first pick. They also often go Tableau. Tableau is in here as a 50 win rate. So even if Leo is banned, Tableau is not doing like crazy good itself. So for Tableau, it doesn't really matter. However, for Gianna, looking at where is she at over here, 55.6 on a 22.34 pick rate. That is incredibly high. So with this in mind, what would you like to have? Have it as we currently have, which is no pre-ban, or would you rather have a pre-ban but before you queue, so people cannot snipe you, or exactly as we have in Special League, but that might give the issue. Normally for Special League, people don't care that much. Maybe they don't really go on those sites to snipe and that kind of stuff. But the moment that it's a standard thing all the time, more people might actually be looking at it like, yeah, I think I want to be looking at those sites to check whatever, who else is running and that kind of stuff. So personally for me, I am not too sure. I would say either without pre-ban or with pre-ban, but before you queue. But it does kind of show that some units are highly elevated. It is a unit I have, but I don't want to be biased saying like, okay, it works for me, so therefore I like it. No, I actually would say like what is better for the majority of the player base. Because everyone in the end has that one unit that you just really hate playing against. And for a lot of people, as you can see, what we really hate playing against is Heigang. Or what we really hate playing against is Gianna or Zibala. Those three things are the main thing. Well, or Ragdoll and Cigar. Those are by far standing out. Like there's where it's 6% and then going down to 4. So those 5 units, there's a lot of people that just do not like to play against that. That might make it pretty interesting for therefore saying like, okay, we should have a pre-ban. Would it also make you that you would start playing more RTA or less RTA? I don't know. I also do think that Countess in general is really scared about changing anything. They're not really experimenting things that much because they're like pretty scared of just messing up the game, because in the end, this is their main majority game source of income and everything. So they don't really want to mess that up. So therefore, we don't see too many changes. But let me know what the community thinks, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I will keep this poll open so you can see the results during the voting of this poll as well. So if you want to check it, just keep it safe somewhere. Just go back to the video and then get it through the link of the video. Short video for today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Let me know your opinion. Let me know that in the comments as well. If you have any other ideas, always welcome as well. Or how you're enjoying Special League or not enjoying Special League because of the pre-ban or because not of the pre-ban. Let me know those things in the comments as well, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And of course, I'm going to be casting my own vote, which is pre-ban, but before the queue, and just make Gianna not fucking crazy shit OP. 100% of the votes. Yes! Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.